Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 BMW Z4. This is the S-Drive 30i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this convertible for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This Z4 is finished off in Portimao Blue with an MSRP just over $64,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. It is rear-wheel drive, weighs in around 3,300 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.7 gallons, and you'll expect to see 25 miles per gallon in the city and 33 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 97.2 inches. Its overall length is 170.7. It has a width of 73.4, a height of 51.4, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.7 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this model has a lot of gloss black accents. You'll notice it's on the kidney grille, where there's plenty of cutouts to provide a lot of cooling. There's also several cutouts in the lower section, along with parking sensors too. Now, there's also LEDs for the lighting, which have a nice dark inner housing to them, and then some subtle bulges on both sides of the hood to give it a really nice look. Now this model also has a set of gloss black wheels with standard brakes. They're finished off in silver there. There's also some more gloss black accents just behind the front tires with that functional trim piece, and you'll notice some really nice lines that flow off of that accent. There's also gloss black on the power folding side mirrors, which have a turn signal on them. And then as you can tell with the top down, I think it has a really nice look to it. Now this is a soft top. As you can see, it's tucked away nicely just behind the headrest. And if you push and hold on the lock button, or you push and hold on the unlock button, this is how you can raise and lower the soft top. So you don't have to get in the vehicle in order to do that, which is really nice. And it's also a pretty quick system to go up or down, and you have the windows that will also go up as well. So with the soft top up, now you can get a look as to its overall design. And in back, there's a third brake light on the back of the integrated spoiler there. There's LEDs for all the lighting, backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then the dual exhaust with gloss black for that diffuser. Now, there's a control underneath where you can open up the trunk lid, and even with the top down, you still have all of this storage. The top goes just to above here. So you have all of this storage along with the cutout to the seats up front. There's also a little bit of storage on the left side there, no storage under the floor, but it's a decent amount, especially for it being a two-doored convertible. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this blue is paired with the cognac leather, which is a really nice combo. You'll notice the memory seating adjustments, window controls, lock and unlock. There's a trunk release and some storage in that lower section. And then a really nice design for these seats. Now, they are power operating with the one manual control for the leg support there. And it's a low car, but it's easy to get into, where we're greeted with a solid leather steering wheel. There's brushed aluminum accents, even a heated steering wheel. All the cruise control settings are on the left, and then on the right side you have volume tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands. But let's start this up and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, you'll see fuel on the left side along with miles per hour, and then on the right there's the tach and engine temperature. Now, to further go through this information, you can use the button on the top of the turn signal stalk, where you'll notice there's some vitals that you can see within the tach on that right side. So you can go through a little bit of information, which is nice to have, just depending on what you'd like to see. And then you can also use this button right here for the head-up display to pull up your radio and media. So you can monitor those adjustments along with miles per hour and the speed limit sign. Now, to the left, you do have a little bit of storage, which is nice. There's all the headlight adjustments, one air vent, and then with the infotainment system, you have quite a lot. So on the home screen, you can go through all of these widgets here, and then you also have shortcuts on this left side. Now, you can also use the controls down below, so you don't have to use this as a touchscreen system. So under car, we have a lot of information to go into, even sport displays. So if you're doing some sporty driving, you can pull all of that up. You can monitor your vehicle status. There's also various settings that you can go into and configure as needed. And you can even get into your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you have those along with some other apps that you can install and monitor. Now, there's also a control here for the intelligent safety, so you can go through some of the safety features and set those up to your liking. There's another screen down below for your fan. You can see temperature, where you'd like the air to go. This model even has heated seats, and then there's some defrosters and more menu controls for the AC on both sides. There's volume and power, all of the presets and tuning, even wireless charging with some auxiliaries. And then as we put this into reverse, this just has the standard backup camera with parking sensors. There's also automatic parking and backup assistance. And then you can shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters themselves. And then to the left, there's traction control, parking sensors, engine start stop. And then you have a few different driving modes that you can go through, just depending on the throttle response that you would like. There's auto hold and the e-brake. This is for the top operation. And then there's a split design for the center armrest, where you have an auxiliary, cup holders, and a little bit of storage. There's also a locking glove box, so you have plenty of space there. There's garage door buttons up top, along with some dome lights. And then you also have a shelf located behind the seats, where there's also additional speakers. There's the cutout into the trunk. And with this space, you could fit some jackets or smaller items nicely behind the seat. And then as far as visibility goes with the top up, you have a bit of a pillar here, but you have large glass on both sides along with the rear view mirrors, so that way you can easily see. And you do have a little bit of a pillar there, but you can easily lean your head over and see out of that side. As we set up behind the wheel now for the Z4, this is the first S-Drive 30 for the latest generation I've been able to take a look at. I was able to film the M40 with the manual transmission a few months ago, so if you like to see that model and the power that that has to offer, take a look at that separate review. So with the S-Drive model here, you only get the 8-speed automatic, so if you do want the manual, you do have to bump up to the M40. But with this model here, it's a very nice convertible. This is something more of a cruising type of vehicle. It has some good performance, which we'll test here soon. But if you're just looking for a very luxury-focused, refined convertible, the Z4 is a great option to go with. So with the performance and power that this model has, we put it into Sport Plus. We can use the paddle shifters now, where you will still get some really good handling with this model. You just don't have as much power. But for the average daily driver, this is going to be a good bit of power. It's not slow by any means, with a 0 to 60 time around 5 seconds. The M40, I believe, was 3.5 or 4, so it is quicker. But in today's market, 5 seconds is still pretty respectable for a vehicle like this. So you're going to have some sporty fun with this model. And like I said, handles really well. And what I like about the Z4 is it's a small vehicle, but it doesn't feel that small from the inside. You have a little bit of space behind the seats. You have the trunk space, which is nice. So it could be a practical vehicle to drive every day if you don't have a lot of items with you. And it would be a great road tripping type of vehicle. It's very well refined, very comfortable and smooth. It's also very quiet as well. So even though this is a soft top, so you can see I can push up it slightly here, it's very well insulated. I know there's been a lot of comments with a lot of the recent BMWs going to a soft top over the hard top. And I think part of that is it's a little bit lighter than having a hard top, so you can get some better handling characteristics. And I think there were some issues with the BMW hardtops in the past, maybe some leaking issues or something like that. I'm not too sure on what the concerns were, but the switch to the soft top, I think it still has a great look. Personally, I do like the hardtop. I do think it would be cool to see the Z4 with a hardtop option. I think a lot of people might buy it more because of that. But with the soft top here, you're still getting the added benefits of a hardtop. It's very well insulated, very quiet. Maybe we'll see a hardtop at some point, but I think the soft top is kind of taking over from the hardtops in a lot of convertibles. It also sounds pretty good too for a 4-cylinder. You know, it's not crazy loud. This isn't a vehicle where you necessarily want it to be loud, but definitely a good bit of power for this 4-cylinder, which is nice. And the paddles are super responsive and the handling is spot on. So this is a great backroads type of vehicle if you want to just go for a cruise and have a nice handling car at the same time. And still in Sport Plus second gear, here we go. Just a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. It definitely is a good power plant if you're not looking for that extra performance and you just want something that, you know, can get up and move and is pretty quick for the average daily. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Z4, where we have a pretty good outlook with the top up. So it doesn't feel too confined for the space, which is nice. You have a lot of open glass all around, so it feels very open. It is a small vehicle though. At 5'10", I have maybe 1.5 inches or so of headroom, but this does have a height adjustment for the seat. So I think you could be maybe pushing 6 feet and fit in this. Everyone's going to vary on that differently, but you at least have a little bit more room with the soft top here. I believe there's more room than the hard top from previous models as well. But definitely a great model to go with, and you have a lot of different options. This one has 2 or 3 options on it, so it's not fully spec'd. So there's a lot more that you could add to it, and obviously go to the M40 if you want mainly the larger engine. You want some more horsepower and torque. Now I won't be putting the top down in today's video, but from other convertibles that I've driven, it's just going to give you that top-down experience, of course, which is nice. And you can do it while moving, so you don't have to be stationary, which I really like to see. And then as far as its maneuverability goes, very easy to do that without having to back up. So it's very maneuverable as well. And that is going to wrap it up for the BMW Z4 S-Drive 30i. Definitely a really cool option to go with if you're looking for a luxury convertible. Not too many out there in this price range. Comment down below, what would you rather buy, or would you buy something else over the Z4 for this price? I think it's a great option to go with, and kind of in its own class, to be honest. There's not too many other convertible competitors around this price point. So that's going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. And make sure you smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I'll see you all in the next video.